Happy New Year, everybody. It's Carpo. I was just going to make a quick video to say that, to say hi, say hello. I've got a few things to say, but I really don't feel like making a video at the moment, getting too in-depth. But I just wanted to say that a few things about change, I guess. I've been thinking about how we want change. We always want things to change, but at the same time, we're afraid of change. And I guess I was listening to a song earlier while I was working on doing some trimming. I had my headphones on, and it was a Black Keys song, that I was listening to, an album, and they mentioned something about just a line that reminded me. It's like something about a person has changed or not how they used to be, and it got me thinking about how we tell people, so and so has changed, and they're not the same person they used to be, and that's not always a bad thing. It's just sometimes hard to interpret for people. If you like have a family member who maybe decided to take a different route, and from the outside it may appear that they're on the wrong path, or maybe it's just too confusing to understand where they're coming from. So, but through society, we tend to distance ourselves from people who don't share the same, I guess they say same understandings or the same ideas. So when a person changes, often what that means is that a person no longer shares the same opinions as we do, or maybe they've decided something else is more important. But I was thinking about the idea of this whole shift people talk about. This shift, as if we're shifting into, as a collective, into, perhaps a more wise or more insightful society. And I truly think that is a completely internal thing, that a shift happens when a person decides to shift their opinions. When a person makes the decision that they're going to live life to its fullest, but at the same time have to make some sacrifices in order to, to feel like you're living properly. Because it's easy to get caught up in society's bullshit. We all have to live, we all have to make a living, but, when a person changes, it's not always that they've reverted into, let's take an example of someone who's a very, completely separated themselves from material desires, needs, and wants, and decides to take a particular path, and then maybe comes back into the system to say, well, you've got to be part of it to change it, you've got to be part of it to do something. In other words, you have to be human, you have to live your life. We can fight against what we call the system as much as we want, but the fact is that we are all incorporated within it. So, making a decision, for me personally, to live my life honestly and fairly, yet at the same time not opt out of all of society's things. I don't try to distance myself from material things, yet I don't try to let them own me. I guess the way I visualize it is like I'm standing in one place and letting everything come and go. Like it's just an in and out, it's a flow. One day maybe I have a lot of money, the next day I have absolutely nothing, and not resisting that, not expecting. Well, it was funny because, I was getting ready to come out and do this video, and right after that, I had my music on shuffle, and after that song came on a Manly Hall, lecture, because I have some various lectures in there in my phone and my card there. So he started talking about the same exact thing, and it's like I get these moments where I'll have all these different inputs of the same idea from different sources. And then I looked up at the clock and it was 3:33, so I figured, well, it's time to make a video about it, Not to really make any particular points, but just to say that, change is what life is about. Everything has changed. I'm trying to hang on to the way things used to be, the nostalgia that we have, you know. Oh, I remember back in the good old days, you know. And then 10 years from then, these are the good old days. So you always want to remember the good old days that you're living in right now, and realize that everything changes, everything flows, everything's constantly in motion. There's no stopping point, you know. There's no be-all, end-all of, aha, I'm finally living right, you know, because something's going to come up and bite your ass and say, wait a minute, I have to make a change here in order to make this work. So, anyway, just some thoughts about life. So, I hope you're all having a happy new year. It's, I had some fantastic revelations the other night. On New Year's Eve, I took a good dose of 25 LSD, and I basically, yeah. Anyway, I'll be back to it later.